Eventually what we will be able to do is to do this, kind of collapse your wrist on the floor. The dynamics that you can set by swinging motions, Foundation, you build the playground, then you play. That's how it goes. Grab the floor, I can pull myself. Shape changes from palm on the floor to the back side of the palm on the floor. Support, boom. Hey guys, it's Aleksei, and this is the Movement Flow Recipe Series. Today we're talking about our feet, how to gain more freedom, more balance, what are the exercises to build up for all the movement you can do with your feet. So what we want to do is to be able to use our feet to rotate a lot, shift our weight, lift, play with the dynamics. There are certain positions that I've been doing a lot, and getting the dynamics from your feet is really valuable and it's really fun. So what we want to do is to shift weight from one leg to another. So, and a lot of heel toe work, So the first exercise would be just kind of rocking to your toes, rocking to your heel. So my legs are slightly bent. You can hear my heels crack if you listen really carefully. But shout out to Michael Gilbride for his piano meditations. That's what you'll hear in the background of these videos. So rocking back and forth like this, standing up, you can try to lift your arms maybe, go back down. I'm bending my legs, don't stay like this. Try to be a bit fluid. If you feel a little bit stuck, do the warm-up video you have. Just rotate your hips a little bit, jump around a little bit, jump, shake it off. Like jumping, or like small micro jumps when your muscles just kind of fall, you let go. So rocking, you can also rock to the sides, carefully, gently, rocking to the sides. So I'm also using my whole body to kind of just, rock, so you can rotate your ankles. You can also just lift yourself a bit more to one leg, the left one. Now, the right one, my heel goes off the ground, and the other direction. So very slow paced, exploration. It will feel awkward probably at first. You will not get it. If you get it straight away, that's amazing. But these things can be tricky, so remember, 1% over the time gives you the result. Just keep on building from different directions, from different approaches. You can do like penguin kind of rocking, This, now I'm a bit more like packed. My legs are not as fluid. If I do the penguin rock, it can be also fluid, but you can try to feel it like that. So I'm not standing up on my toe. It's more like I'm pressing the whole foot into the floor. And as I do the penguin rock, I can start to rotate. And how do I start that rotation? When I shift my weight to the left, my right leg is in the air. When I place it back down, I move it slightly to the right, and I'm back in this position. So, just do this, get used to it, Get ready. Now we will shift our left leg to the front. Boom. So that's the very slow paced exercise. Doing one shift, getting ready for another one. You can try continuous weight shifting, changing the direction as well. Try to see how your upper body feels. Try to see if you can swing your arms together with this motion. So when I extend, I open my arms and I put down to one side, so it's like one side I'm extending, on the other side I'm closing my arms. Maybe I can lift them up. And you see, combining legs and arms, this penguin twins, penguin rocking, and some other movement of stepping, rotating my ankle out, getting the freedom to turn and release that dynamic feet exercises. Let's remind ourselves of those real fast. So rocking toes and heels, rocking a bit to the side, rotating the ankles, or if I spread out my legs a bit more, about shoulder width, just bouncing, lifting our feet from the floor, putting more weight on the right leg. So a good test here would be like raising your leg, so we keep some sort of balance. Ooh, you see, I lost balance there for a second. That's alright, it doesn't matter. We're not looking for perfect execution, we're just looking to get more familiar with our body weight, with our body, and get connected. So that, another thing we can try is when you stand up like this. So one leg will go on the toes, the other one will go on the heel. And just try to feel this a little bit, slightly. So maybe putting one leg on the toes, finding balance there, and trying to lift your heel, going up and down. So up, I kind of straighten out my leg, and then I bend my knee again, as I go down, as I roll down from the heel. Let's change. Let's find weight and good support with our right toes, and we go on the left heel. Alright, so eventually it can be this rocking motion, and you can open up with this and close back in. But this is another series to be in detail for that. For now, finding weight, pressing down, like going up on the heel, going a little bit backwards. Notice my upper body is relaxed. If I don't have to hold my pants, I can also relax my arms a bit more. And I'm just kind of rocking, rocking on the heel, back and forth. So there's a little swinging motion like this. Swinging motion like this. When my upper body is going down and up, if I isolate it, right? And my knees are bending and straightening out. Support, boom, micro, but try to explore these little things. Yet again, they may feel awkward, but slowly, as you practice, the repetition will lead you to comfort, and within that comfort you will find improvisation eventually. So, foundation, you build the playground, then you play. That's how it goes. Another position or like movement that we can try to learn is rotating my torso to the left, putting more weight to the left leg, and then shifting, as we did here with the heel going to the sky. Here we try to minify that motion and just kind of rotate on the top position of your foot so the heel will face that direction. Juke, going back, shifting my body weight. You can find the position, shake it up again if you feel stiff. Rotate those hips, massage, maybe hit them, loosen it up. And this could be a continuous motion. Just your feet or with your arms. So with my arms close to myself, like center, sideways, shoulder, sideways, shoulder. So when I'm turning to the left, my hands go to the left, turning to the right, my hands go to the right. And there's like many positions here. But let's say this could be the base. Why we could be using this is we rotate it and now we shift the weight to that leg. So at first it's here, then it's there, and here you can kind of just put yourself like this to the back, because we already turned, so we have a possibility to reverse it or continue the turning motion. Continue the turning motion with our lower body, with our hips. And the turning motion could be in a straight line, going backwards, just walking backwards. Or it could be a circle eventually. Because when you stretch out your movements, you gain more momentum. You can really imagine that somebody's pulling your arm and you set a dynamic to it. So if I rotate my arms, just like this, it's one level. Or I can really try to maximize, like imagine somebody's pulling my arm, try to maximize, and then I can fall into a particular direction. Whew. So let's do this as an exercise as well, as a different kind of warm-up. So arm rotation may look like this, you're just rotating your arm, but naturally the shoulder opens to the side, to the back. So you can try to go there. The rotative moment of the legs, that we looked for at separately, is here in the right ankle. It kind of helps you, but don't get too excited because you have to build up strength in your ankle. So it's easier to just step back. So pull and step back. Step to the front. You can go down here slightly. Down and up. Chill out a little bit. Let's look at the other hand. Slowly, no rush at all. Just really explore the movement. Find a better position for your legs, how wide or how tight it is comfy for you to stand. Step back. So naturally, look, my leg is bent like this. So you can try and also just do separately at first without the arm swing, Always break it down if you feel something is hard. That's what I'm trying to do here. Just stepping back, finding balance and going to the front again, like small rocking motion. Rotating, swinging the arm. Somebody's pulling you by the arm. Step back. You know, doesn't have to be a bent leg also. That was an exaggerated example. You step back, alright. Your rotation completed. Go back into the same position. So the other arm as well. Arm swings here. I'm shifting my weight from the right leg, left leg is up, to the left. Right leg can go up. But if you like kind of save it, you know. Okay, didn't really happen there, but also mistakes will lead you to new pathways, you know, as you do it. So arm swings. Arm swings also perfect way to learn the dynamics that you can set by swinging motions, you know. Looked at legs as well. So changing the position of one foot. This is the motion. You can do it all on its own. It's not going to do a lot. It's a starting point for your position change, you know. You change the whole body with it. So really rotating your upper body, trying to feel those hips, like squeeze it in, you know, like press, rotate in. Step back, you know, because you have the possibility now, your hips are open. Open your hips here. Step back in, rotate it in. Other side. I go in, I step back, I lift my leg, put it back up. You can try half circles, you can do just straight line. You can step like this, but not too far from the ground, you know. You can slide it kind of. Sliding it is really good. So this, a building block for the slides, you know, is standing on one leg, trying to find the balance. You can hold a wall, you know. Help yourself with the wall. What we're doing, more weight on one leg, the left one, and the right one is just kind of sliding along, you know, exploring where it can go. Change the leg. If you really, you know, if you find something you can use, like I very randomly bought this stick in a construction shop. I was imagining I'm gonna use it, but I don't use it as often, but it comes in handy right now. You can also use a stick like this to help you balance, you know, which side is easier. The wall is definitely easier to support with. Anyways, so balance, sliding. That's the exercise. Sometimes with the socks, it's much easier to do the slides, so try putting on socks. Changing the position, toes. I'm already facing sideways, so my leg, the front leg is kind of uncomfortable. I release it, can step back from here. I can slide in, you know. As I slide, I can also bend forward, you know. As I slide, I can bend forward, I can touch the ground. Here are many transitional ways if you have worked through the floor, you know, foundation, sitting down as we were sitting down here. Look, I'm in this position now. So we're learning key position, key transition moves to go on the floor like naturally, save the dynamics, expand, contract, change sides, change weights, you know, change levels, make mistakes, fall. That's what we do. Jump around a little bit, rest. Maybe you will want to sit down. This is a position you should also practice, sitting down like this. Hopefully you can do it. You will probably need one of these just in case. I only have one, so let me use a chessboard and a book to show what I mean here. So maybe finding support above the ground on these blocks will be easier for you. But to sit down here, could be in the front, you know, could be in the front. But we want to sit on our toes like this, and we want to transition back to the whole foot like this, you know. So this is let's say a resting exercise, or like another thing to do, to try with your feet when you're sitting down. Expand the feet, sit on your ass, hit them on the ground a little bit, shake it up, kind of release the tension, relax. When we're here, you know, resting, we could look at our arms to warm up the arms. On the floor with this movement, you can also practice it on the wall standing up, right? So claw, finger middle, half knuckle backside of the palm, reversing it out, half knuckle, finger middle, claw, full palm. It's a very important transitional move because it will allow you to change. Look, I'm rotating my hand in, going and doing, passing it back, and now I'm rotating it out. I can grab the floor, I can pull myself, you know. So a lot of these shape changes from palm on the floor to the back side of the palm on the floor will allow you to back yourself, make yourself small, like contract and expand afterwards, you know, in many different ways. It's a nice idea to warm up your fingers like this before you start doing that. So placing your hands like this, shifting it a little bit to the left, closing, open, shifting to the right, closing, open. So that's, you know, one way. You can just do this also. This involves a bit more coordination, and it's good to kind of loosen up the coordination of both sides, you know, like the tricky things when you do this and you're confused which finger is which. Like, I'm really confused. But this kind of stuff teaches you over time to learn your body a bit more, you know, to sync the mind with the body. That's what we're going for here. And opening the flow from inside. The combo gives you the result, or let's say gives you the flow. So rub your fingers a little bit. Each finger rub it a little bit, you know. You can also like squeeze it a little bit in a gentle rotative motion like this. So I grab on it and I rotate with the other hand, you know. Boom, rotating like, I don't know. I don't have a motorbike, but I imagine this is a motorbike kind of motion. You're like, let's go. So doing this on both hands, warming up your fingers. You can try and squeeze your whole hand, like shape it like this, so you can squeeze off it easily. And just kind of like press it together with the other hand. This may be a bit trickier than, the other exercises, so I can also grab it from the top and kind of pull this one out and this one down. And that's the motion. You don't have to do everything perfectly. The idea here is to warm up your fingers, your wrists, and there is a whole separate video dedicated to how to get more control over your fingers, how to feel the wrists, what are the possibilities there, because this is a whole topic of its own, and it benefits a lot, feeling, really getting in tune with your hands is a powerful pathway. What we can do here is bend our individual fingers, helping with our other hand, just trying to keep the other one straight, bending them in, bending them in. Just do this once, it's a good warm-up after you've, massaged the fingers. It can also be in this manner that the fingers are free and you just press down each finger, press down and pressing it down like this. So I'm also supporting with the thumb in the back or with the pointer finger in the back and pressing down with the thumb. Any way will do, just kind of, we need this motion in our hands. So back side of the palm, pressing against the floor. Half knuckle position, also pressing against the floor. Rocking it back and forth, also left and right. Middle finger, the finger middle, the finger's middle position. These bones right here, press them against the floor, also rock it left and right. Try to transition from the finger middle to the knuckle. Finger middle, knuckles. Finger middle, knuckles, open up. Half knuckle position, back. So in the half knuckle position, I can just kind of go straight away into the finger middles, but then, I form this kind of shape. And when I go back to the knuckle, the shape keeps, I hold the shape. You could probably unfold it like this, but I think it's more natural like this. Anyways, so rocking here, transitioning back to the palm. Eventually what we will be able to do is to do this, kind of collapse your wrist on the floor. On the floor with this movement, you can also practice it on the wall standing up, right? So claw, finger middle, half knuckle backside of the palm, reversing it out, half knuckle, finger middle, claw, full palm. These transitions and also warming up. So from the finger middle, we can go into the panther or like this claw position, right? So finger middle, and you transition yourself into this claw. So that's the motion here. When you're starting from the palm down on the floor, you kind of like lean forward a little bit. You can lean forward with your feet. If you cannot sit like this, just sit on your ass. Sit on a pillow, if that's comfier, you know, find a pillow of good height, and here bending into the claw position. So we're bending our fingers into the claw position, going into the finger middle, going into the knuckles. You can extend fingers, keep them like this, going into the back side of the palm. Half knuckle, going back down now, rotating in, finger middle, the claw, and open palm. Try to combine this movement with your body, like going, rocking, front and back. Of course, you'll have to separately, you know, practice this for some time before you can do that, but that's just let's say a direction of where this move can go. Then you can combine both hands also at the same time as well. I haven't warmed up my left hand as good as the right one because that's the one I was showing with, but that's the idea. Also, another thing to do is to kind of, like, I don't know, like the floor is a dog or a cat and you're gonna pet it. So for starting, sitting like this, backside of the palm is a bit behind my ass, and I'm gonna swing my arm front if I wanna like raise it, you know. So I'm swinging it, and as I raise it, I will do the same motion we've been doing. Half knuckle, finger middle, claw, kind of opening up, more connected, more subtle, less angles. As it's up, I'm going to bring it down and I'm going to push it back. And here it's basically easier, it's just going to be this. So your elbow is going to do the work. You put your elbow up and you can, you know, do this motion. Put your fingers like, put your palm up. Put your palm up. And then we try to find this position where we pat the floor and we place the fingers on the floor. So we're going to do this kind of motion, you know. Imagine a slide or like a pendulum or skateboard ramp, and people just go up and down, keeping that motion. And there are points, you know, when you can accelerate or you can lose speed, but there's a certain dynamic in the initial start, and we can control that start. It can be soft, it can be very rough, let's say. So that's what we're doing here. Sliding back, placing our fingers, and then we're falling back in, you know. So if I minimize now this movement, not lifting my hand a lot, I'm just kind of, you know, doing the bare minimum to change the position of the joints in my hand, and I'm just patting the floor basically. This is a very important transitional move because it will allow you to change. Look, I'm rotating my hand in, going and doing, passing it back, and now I'm rotating it up. I can grab the floor, I can pull myself, you know. So a lot of these shape changes from palm on the floor to the back side of the palm on the floor will allow you to like back yourself, make yourself small, like contract and expand afterwards, you know, in many different ways. That's why it's important to pay attention to this. It's a foundational block for for transition, yeah, foundational block for movement in general. It's all about unlocking the turns for the path, you know. It's like a river flowing, so it has to find the ways. If it's like a sharp corner, you will lose the speed, lose the dynamics. So stretching out is a huge beneficial also pathway to do like yoga, simple exercises maybe in the morning, or just stretching. It doesn't have to be yoga. If you look at kids, they move around all the time. They're on the floor, crouching, you know. And actually, let's do this one exercise. If you have knee pads, it's great. This was taught to me by a back specialist in Estonia. What we'll do, if we go into the crouching position or like the cat pose in yoga, right? And we're just gonna walk as babies do, as toddlers do, walking. Shifting our weight. Like first you just walk as you can, you know. If you feel comfy, cool, just try rotating, you know. Going to the other side. Try to see what your point of balance or like grip could be. Obviously your hands. Here you can use your hands. Your toes as well. They can form this position like a spring, you know, like the Olympics. I mean the sprint running, so you can press yourself against into the fingers like this. Look here, I can even lift my knees now because I have enough support in the toes. I can put the knees back, can extend myself to the front. Push-up position, alright. Turn around more, so I can go sideways here with my knees. I can go sideways while my hands are fixated in one position. I can turn around, I can extend one leg, find support with the toes, stretch it out, bring it back in. The other leg, turning around. So if I sit, if you cannot do it on the floor, absolutely no worries. And it's not always that I had a lot of space in my flat, you know. It just happened here pretty randomly in Herceg-Novi, Montenegro. I used to have less space also. You can use a yoga mat for this if you don't have knee pads. And if you have a yoga mat, let me just bring it sideways a little bit like this. Just walk on it, you know, back and forth. You can also rotate. It's just the knees that want the soft thing. As you do it, your knees will get stronger. I'm alright with the floor now. So yeah, the walk itself will decompress the spine. Well, according to the back specialist in Tallinn, I don't know how to measure the effectiveness of this, but for movement, this is a great exercise to do the toddler walk. Like transitioning from toddler walk to finding support with your toes, sitting, connecting the heels with the glutes, the ass, you know. Transition into sitting, you know, the Russian Gopnik style, whatever, you know. So there's a lot of transition already here. I can go back on my ass, extend my legs, and I'm in this chilling at the beach kind of position, you know, like soaking in the sun, man. Chilling. Now here, depending on which direction my wrists are looking at, you know. This really depends how much I can move my upper body using my hands. So if they're looking sideways, I can really extend and contract my arms. Let me lose the yoga mat now. So like this, you know. And I don't know if you've done this at the beach, but I found myself trying this. I remember that you feel like you want to lay down, but not completely, like you want to, you know, watch the waves of the people passing by, and you try to go on your elbows, finding the support on your elbows, and it seems like a good idea at first, but actually it's quite an uncomfortable position to be for a long time. And so from here you can, you know, work yourself up. This is a great transitional, maybe ab, core strength exercise. I'm not sure what exactly is happening because it feels kind of easy for me now. But I'm guessing the abs do the work, the core. So when you're here, go, just find a way to place one elbow, find support in it, you know. If it's hard, like try it extra carefully, you know. Try it extra carefully. If you're alright, you can go a bit more, you know, further. So both arms, both elbows are on the floor. And if I bring myself to the left, for example, I can straighten the right arm and I can try to find a point of support there as I'm raising my other elbow from the floor, right? So, boom. There's a lot to this in a collapsive motion, as we did with our wrists. If you find a way to sit down, again, I think yoga mat will be the best. Maybe a pillow to sit in the hero pose here. And what we'll be doing is this. So we place our palms in the front, and we're gonna bend, put the elbow right near the knee, you know, and go up. It can be both, it can be less. What I actually remembered is that you can practice this also by pressing against the wall. Just press against the wall. Chest high, your arms, and you will push up the floor, but by placing the elbows, push up the wall, but by placing an elbow to the wall. So the movement will be this. This is what we want, you know. We want to be able to keep our hands really close like this, and then rotating it in also, because like this is less comfy than this, you know. So if my hand is extended, I place my palm on the shoulder, can help with my other arm to press the elbow in. That's the position. I call it the dinosaur position. So when the palm is facing out, it's a bit harder, but I guess also possible if my arm is here and I raise it as in a hello, but kind of very like dinosaur hello, press it in, can rotate it in, you know. So just palm facing out, palm facing in. So that's what's happening in the push-up. Boom. That's what it is. Well, that's if you go further, you know. At first, just the elbow on the wall and going back up. The same thing will happen on the floor. Just find a position that's easy for you to sit in position like this. Let's see, with the pillow. It's a bit harder, yeah, it's too high for you to do. Maybe here also requires some flexibility in the back. If you sit like this, also requires flexibility here, and everything requires flexibility. Guys, who's ever watching this, stretching is important. So, yeah. Maybe a yoga block will help you here in the sense that you can try, if you have 2 blocks, you can combine them, or a big book, whatever, and you will be able to do this while sitting down like this. So let's say 45 degrees straight line, pressing the elbow. That's the idea. The same thing will be happening as we did on the wall here. So boom, boom. Notice me rocking as I do it. I go on the right elbow, I lean to the right, I go to the left, I'm kind of centered. But as I raise, like I extend my right arm, I'm already to the left side. Here, going to the middle again, can fall. So that's the movement, you know, for the elbows. And the same thing happens when you're here in the back, laying down on the beach. That's the motion. Going to the right as I'm on the right elbow, middle as I'm on both. Extend the arm, find more support on the left. Here is a bit trickier, so you know you might need to think, you know, change the position of the arm. Eventually you will find how to smoothen out those angles and stay almost in one position, you know, and become fluid with it. You will find new ways, you will construct on the go. It's like walking on ice, you know, walking on those air pads in video games, you know, when you keep walking, building, and it works. But first, slowly, step by step, we construct the position, familiarize ourselves with the position. So, if you can do this, awesome. If you cannot, just come back to this, build up the technique with the wall, understand it. Try to find a sitting down position for this. But this collapsive motion is also a lot because, you know, we go down, go in front, rotating. Let me get a little bit more of that wall. So one last thing you can practice. You come closer to a wall and you support both your elbows, or one elbow and the other arm is like this. Try to open and close the palm. So open, palm face, back on the floor, rotate it in, extend your arms, coming closer to the wall, placing your elbow, rotating out, palm face, back side on the wall, rotate it back in, palm finds support, strength pull, collapse, elbow on the wall, rotate it in. If you place your palm somewhere around shoulder level, you can try to do the full compact motion position. So we do this and rotate in. So bringing it together, it will be hard to bring it together more. So we rotate the palm face kinda, and boom, we're here. Back side, and then we rotate it back in to push ourselves off the wall. New angle for this. So as my palm is on the wall, I bring my elbow in, yeah? Bring my elbow in. Try to find also a comfy position here, sliding your arm up and down. Somewhere around shoulder height, you will have the possibility to rotate. So as we did on the floor with this movement, you can also practice it on the wall standing up, right? So claw, finger middle, half knuckle backside of the palm, reversing it out, half knuckle, finger middle, claw, full palm. So this motion, you can also open up and close sideways, just rotating to a karate chop, pow position, you know. This can be like, you know, a firm position when you kind of flex it a little bit, like wha, really karate, you know, that's why the name comes from. And rotate it in and out, you know, can be 90 degrees, can be 180. For 180, I'm kind of helping a bit more with my body already. I don't know if you can see, but also the rocking motion with my feet, the penguin rocking motion, you can add it here. So, because if we just kind of go in, close ourselves, push out, great, you know, pull in, rotate in. But if I'm turning my body, I can lean my side of my head here, and it's pressed down like this, the arm, and I can push myself out with the karate chop, and I'm already sideways, you know, so I'm sideways like this. Boom. I can even, you know, end up on my back, and that's what we'll be doing on the floor, incorporating these rotations to free up space, because from this rotative motion, you know, like this, you cannot really turn, you get stuck. Opening the palm allows you for a smooth transition to the back. That's why this dinosaur position is important, like contracting here. So getting used to this, doing this against the wall, will help you do it on the floor. So exercises here can support the karate chop. You can warm up like this, you know. Hit the wall. I hope the neighbors will not mind. I don't have any there. So yeah, and then, you know, one arm can be palm, the other one can be karate arm, and you, whilst rocking, look at my feet. I don't know if you can really see from this angle, but I'm a little bit pushing more weight to the right side. The left heel is lifting. And then as I'm pressing everything down and bringing my body down, this is a point of connection. Might take time for you to understand or connect it, but this is a point of connection of small dynamic. So bringing the dinosaur arm position, karate, putting more weight on the right leg, lifting the heel, uncomfy here, so I want to push out or turn around to release the arm, you know. So yeah, do one arm a little bit, just kind of stretches. Try the other one. Don't have to go full straight away. Just do the basics, you know, of rotating in and out into the karate position. Try to pull yourself from the wall while the arm stays in karate position. Try to contract it a bit more. Try to touch the shoulder with your fingers. Touch the shoulder. Push it out. I hope you enjoyed this set of moves, exercises to try and incorporate into your practice. The foundation here is really strong, and just remember, slowly build up. The more you try it, the better you will become. Patience. Great things, or like the flow games, the games of flow, you know, they take time, but it's really worthy to invest your time to get connected to your body and yeah, become more wholesome eventually. And as you will, you know, get better and start moving, you will just feel